Thank you, Ian. Appreciate it. We're going to go to Steve in upstate New York. Hi, Steve. You're on with Richard Dolan.
Yes, sir. I just want to say I'm a former Marine Corps officer. I'm currently a captain with a major airline that you fly probably several times, both of you. I fly internationally, domestic, you name it. 23 months ago, it'll be 24 in August, my first officer and I, who happened to be at the time an Air National Guard Lieutenant Colonel, F-15 and F-16 pilot, F-15 instructor, we took off out of Boise, Idaho, early in the morning, around 4:30 Boise time. Thunderstorms, name it, flying along for about an hour, and we finally break out of the thunderstorms, and it was like, going through a curtain. Beautiful day, nice and sunny. And air traffic control at that time said to us that we were leading the pack. There were 3 other airplanes behind us, and that was en route to the East Coast. So I said, I asked him what the rides were like so I could choose another altitude. It was a little bumpy. And he said, nope, you're leading the pack. You're going to have to give me okay, great. But I'm looking off to my left, sir, at 10 o'clock, about 5 miles, and there's an aircraft. And he looked down his radar and says, yeah, there is. Hold on for a second. And he said, well, what does it look like? What kind of aircraft is it? I said, well, hold on. It's coming closer. Now, this is all on tape. This is factual and on tape. I've been flying 45 years. I look it out my window. It comes to my 11 o'clock position, and it's now within 1 mile of me. And this is in a matter of seconds. And I said to him, sir, I gave him my full name, my flight number, and my airline name. And he knew what my flight number and my airline. I was sick and tired of the whole cloak and dagger of this.
You're putting it on the record on purpose, then.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
You bet. Yeah. And I just said, I said, I want someone to call me at my house about this because I'm ready to talk. And if they want to try and make me out to be a fool, go for it. I dare you. Anyway, I put my name on the record. I'm looking at this thing and I said, you know what, sir, I'll tell you what kind of aircraft it is. It isn't. It doesn't have wings. It's oval. That's all I can tell. I don't know what side I'm looking at. I said it on the radio. It could be a profile view. I don't know. It's about 1,000 feet long. It's silver, and it's reflecting the sun. It's not spinning. It doesn't look like a cartoon flying saucer. It's a oval-shaped silver object that's toying with my airplane, and I'm doing 550 miles an hour. And I looked at my co-pilot, and I said, do you see what I see? And he said, yes, I do. I said, can I reference you on the radio? And he said, yes, I can. All right. So I referenced him and myself. And, this is the first time I'm able to tell you and the public. And this is not the first time I've seen things like this. Flying over the ocean, flying over the North Pole, from Germany, going to Anchorage, going to Hawaii. But this is the first time I've actually had an up-close view. And I did not have my phone or in camera within reach at the time because I was afraid that this thing was going to get in my way. And I actually put my hands on the controls and was ready to kick off the autopilot and actually fly this airplane like a fighter. Because
Sir, if I may ask you, first of all, I'm so very glad that you are mentioning this sighting, and I'm sure people listening feel the same way. So how did this sighting end?
That's very interesting. So I tell air traffic control everything I told you. Do you think they'd even respond or acknowledge my comment? No. So then I hear behind us a United crew mention, we see the same thing. After this thing disappeared out of my sight, about, I'd say, 30 seconds later. Now, this United guy was 35 miles behind me. 30 seconds later, he said he saw the same thing.
Yeah.
No response from air traffic control. None. I tried for about a month to get the tapes. They won't release them. You don't need those tapes. And I don't know if this is a false thing, but on the internet, and this was right around Fargo, North Dakota. And I can't give you an exact point, but I remember seeing it on my screen in front of me. Fargo, North Dakota, Minot, North Dakota, in that area. But you can Google something on the internet, and it says somebody saw something in Fargo. But, I don't care about stuff like that. The reason why I'm calling you, sir, is because I'm on my way home right now from JFK to upstate New York, driving home. There were delays tonight, and I'm in uniform, and I'm actually pulled off to the side because I have a carrier that I don't rely on, and I don't want to lose this call. So.
Well, thank you. I want to thank you. By the way, I'll be in upstate New York, back home in a couple of days myself. That's where I live. I think cases like this are potentially explosive cases. I think investigators would love to dig into the details of your particular incident, primarily because it seemed seemingly not just yourself, but a number of other pilot witnesses saw this and can speak to it. The fact that there's no FAA records seemingly available, that's interesting, but we might be able to, the researcher might be able to do some FOIA requests. There might be things that can come out as a result of this. And, it's a fascinating sighting that you had. I have to say.
It's a really great case. Steve, if you will leave your contact information with Donna on the phone, we'll get in touch with you, and we can put some pressure on FAA to cough up the tape of the records. And
August 2015 is when this happened, I guess.
Do you have an exact date, Steve?
Written down at home in my logbook.
Okay. If you would just hang on for a second and leave the information, and we'll be in touch with you and see where this can go.
And if I could just bring it into a disclosure context, because we're in an era now where sightings are very common, of course. But increasingly, because we're able to communicate with each other so much more easily than before, I keep having this little mental fantasy that there will be a sighting that hits the sweet spot, so to speak, and that ball goes out of the park. In other words, a sighting that is so good that is seen by enough individuals who are credible witnesses, who've got data to support themselves, and that gets enough media traction that it causes a problem for the secrecy. And I retain a belief that this type of a case can happen. Such a case can happen.
Steve, has there been any repercussions as you're trying to get the? I'm sorry, he's gone. We'd like to maybe hear from him again. Okay.
I think it's fascinating. It's a fascinating sighting.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting case. And
he seemed like absolutely straight-laced, reliable sort of witness. I mean, we only heard him on the phone, but conceivably someone could interview him and his colleagues and get a detailed statement.
Yeah, he sounds fed up. We'll try to get one more quick call in before the end of the hour on the international line.